We are live. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Give it up to yourself. Hey, Marjorie. Hey, my name. Hope you're doing well. Let me make sure the audio is okay. We'll get started here. Yeah, today's just a chat. I do want to share with you. Yeah, okay, the audio is okay. I do want to share with you some fun updates. We're going to talk about a couple of interesting things, but more than anything, just to chat. If you have any questions, it's a good opportunity today to ask them. And yeah, let's see who's here. Hey, John. Hope you're well too. Thank you for being here as always. Much appreciated. My name, hey again, Marjorie. Hey. Hey, Buck. How are you doing? Good to see you too. Hey, Jill. I love that frog emoji always. That is so cool. Lollipop Strawberry, it's been a while. Hey, hope you're doing well. Christina, how are you doing? CHN, hey, how are you doing? Adria, hope you're doing well too. Yeah, we are. So I have a couple of updates for today. Basically, next week we're gonna go on vacation. So for 2.5 weeks. So it's gonna be out of office for me for a while. And I just thought it would be good to connect before that, give you some updates. We'll be out of office basically again. So that's one thing. There's also an upcoming auction this weekend that I already told you about on a local site here, but I do want to share it with you because I think it is interesting, and I can then share the results with you after the auction ends. Quick update on what I'm working on. Got a commission. Got a couple of stuff. The business things. We'll discuss all of that and more, and answer any question you may have. So thank you for joining me today. Yeah, I have so much work. Today's probably going to be about an hour long, unfortunately. Maybe an hour and a bit. Not as long as the previous live stream. I just have a lot of things to work on and a lot of preparations because of the vacation next week, which is why I have a lot of loose ends and things to wrap up. Hey, Etty, how are you doing? Thank you for being here. Margaret, hello. Diane, how are you? Thank you, Adria. Yeah, so let's actually get started with that. So we're going to go to Vietnam. It's going to be 2 weeks and 4 days from the 30th to September 19th. So yeah, I actually haven't yet prepared any videos or content for that. I'll probably work on that either over the weekend or Sunday, Monday, something like that. So yeah, I'm actually not sure, and that's why I wanted to update you. I'm actually not sure exactly what I'll do, what the frequency of videos will be, whether it's going to be, one video a week or more. Live streams, obviously not. I think our connection there is not something I would count on. I don't know how modern Vietnam is in that regard, and we're gonna stay at hotels mostly. Just a bit of, more what do you call it, like a local bed and breakfast, stuff like that. By the way, look at what I just got for the AirPods. So I think we're gonna be in places where there should be Wi-Fi, but I'll probably have limited reception and all of that. So expect slowness. If you have anything, if you email me for any topic and I'm a bit slow to respond, it was really important for me just to keep you updated on that. I'll do that also in other places. But just know I'm gonna apologize in advance if I'm slow to respond or I'm messing up in that regard. So my apologies in advance. Hey, hi Pablo, hope you're doing well from Argentina. I have a special place for Argentina in my heart. First off, a lot of the telenovelas that were very popular here in the 90s as I was a kid, early 2000s maybe as well, were from Argentina. And that's how I learned a bit of Spanish as a kid. I also visited Argentina as part of my travels. And lastly, my How to Sketchbook that was translated into Spanish was published also in Argentina. And I have some followers who sent me pictures of the book in stores windows. So I love Argentina in many ways, but not the football soccer way. I'm such a so bad at that. But yeah, Cosme Marmol Delgado. Hello, Orion. Un saludo desde. Is that I'm not sure what Han is or how to pronounce it. Spania. Thank you so much for being here. Much appreciated. Adrian, I'm sure you will have lots of lovely photos to share with us when you get back. Yeah, yes, exactly. Hamordim. That was one of the telenovelas. Rebelde, or whatever it was called in Spanish. Yeah, definitely. I do plan on taking a lot of photos. I'm actually curious to see what kind of interior photos I can get from restaurants and the like, because I don't have enough of these and I want to gather more because it seems I really enjoy painting and they seem to be popular too. So yeah. And I feel like my take on these kinds of scenes is unique enough to make me want to paint them more. Hey, Smexy Ryan X. Hope you're doing well. So yeah, and hopefully I will share those with you. I know there are tons of beautiful views. Yeah, I am curious to see what kind of paintings may come out of it, because usually every place I visit, I end up painting something from. One of the paintings that's going to be on Saturday's auction is from Venice. A nice view. So yeah, hey Lydia, how are you doing? Marjorie, I watch a YouTube originally from a YouTuber, I guess. Originally from Russia, he's now in Vietnam and vlogs several times a week. A couple of days ago, he did a live. Oh, cool. Yeah, so we know live streams are possible there. No, I'm kidding. I mean, it's a pretty popular touristic destination, so I'm sure it's gonna be better than I expect, probably. Yeah, when we went to Morocco, I was sure it's gonna be like, I knew it was modern in many senses, but I wasn't expecting it to be as modern as it was, or in the way that it was. My name, Liron. Will you be doing plein air? Yeah, if that's gonna happen sometime after Vietnam. I don't know. There are some things that make me think maybe in the upcoming months it will happen. But no, during the vacation, no. I barely, I talked about it a lot. I barely get to paint on vacation. I'm so absorbed in what we're doing that I end up just not doing it. Plus, we did the whole thing through an agency. So we're gonna have a plan for every day. We have some free days. I think the day we arrive is gonna be a free day, half a day, because we'll get there around 1-2 p.m. And we should have a free day here and there, but for the most part, it's like going to this place, seeing a bunch of stuff, going to this place, doing a cooking workshop, going to this place, doing a market, sightseeing. So it's gonna be very packed, but in a good way. We're not big on every minute is scheduled and very tight schedule and waking up super early every day. I kind of like a loose schedule, but that does have enough to fill it in to make it interesting. So yeah, I won't be plein airing there at all. I can guarantee that. I mean, unless something extremely weird happens, I probably won't. But yeah. Yeah, so that's that. We're gonna be all over the place. We'll have some long car rides, I'm sure. And we're gonna probably see a variety of views. We'll have a mini cruise thing, so a bunch of stuff. Really looking forward to it. But I wouldn't count on too much, focusing on art or painting or any of that. I'll do the bare minimum of, emails, important emails, and maybe I'll catch up on some comments and stuff like that, but very, very loose. And I need to be okay with not having content for the entire 3 weeks, if that were the case. I just need to be okay with that. I'm much better at it. I'm much less obsessed with making sure there's always something. But yeah, I mean, 2.5 weeks feels like a long time to not post anything. But yeah, oh, by the way, if you do want to get some updates, then the best bet would be to check out Instagram stories. I'll probably just post there, stories for everywhere. I should have like a SIM card and internet connection aside from Wi-Fi. That hopefully there will be some. So yeah, this is for that. I do want to share with you. So I talked a bit about the auction. That's going to be a local website. It's an auction house. It's called Cuckoo. It's a cool name, and they have their established audience, and people are familiar with it. And so some of my paintings will go on auction there. Now the way they do it is they upload everything, all the paintings, to the website. This is my first time participating in an auction, not me auctioning my own work. So it's going to be interesting. So they uploaded a month prior, and then people can already bid, start with the minimum price, and then keep increasing. And then what happens is they... let me just check. I want to check something. Good. Yeah, so people bid there, and then most of the action happens during the auction, obviously. I'm not sure how long the auction itself is. It does start Saturday, 8:30 p.m. our local time. So I can actually share with you, if that was here. No, that's my own page. Let me find the auction page. There we go. Yeah, so this website does have an English... wait, let me check something. This website does have an English and Hebrew version. There we go. Yep. So, I was on the English version. There it is. So, if we just search for my name, we'll see my paintings. But just to show you some of the artwork, it's a variety. There's some things that are more illustrative, some things that are more realistic. There's some prints on wood. It's very interesting. For the most part, it is paintings. There you can catch already two of mine. So basically, items that have the blue on them means someone already placed a bid from the minimum price. Now, because this is my first time there, the minimum prices are, I think, quite low. But that's fine, because it's gonna increase hopefully during the auction. That's pretty much the point, to let the audience, like the auctions I do, to let the audience set the price. Some of these I didn't even plan on selling, so I mean it's great for me. I just put them there. I wouldn't have sold them anyway. Not because they're bad, it's just I never thought of selling them. So we have the tarp that I shared with you here. So this was, the minimum price was $120, and it is now at that. So someone basically placed a minimum bid. This one, I believe, increased a bit from the original bid. If you remember the scaffolding painting, that was a nice one. I shared it with you before. And let's see here. This was actually a great one. I was happy they were interested in that, because it feels to me like a painting that I would enjoy painting, but I don't know how much other people will be into, just because it's such a niche, a construction site, and it's one of those things people always tell me, why did you paint it? So we have that. Here, it takes long to load. I don't know why the connection is a little slow today. But yeah, so here it is, the tarp painting. This was just the minimum bid. And if we go over them, there are some interesting sculptures. That's cool. Some artists here that I know from local face groups. Actually, one of them I reached out to ask about selling via this place and other places. Here's another one, so you know this one, from Palazzo Contarini. So that's basically when you go up all the way to the building that was a theater. You go up this spiraling staircase. That's the view you see from up there, which I absolutely love. So yeah, that one I believe that was the minimum price, though I don't remember what the minimum price was. There could have been someone increasing it since then. Oh, here it is, a good one you may remember. Shingles, by the way, if you have any questions about that. So a lot of people have been asking in the past, like, how to sell your paintings, and I feel like I'm just starting to dip into this world. So if you have questions about that, and how I got to be in this auction, let me know. I can provide more details. So here it is, shingles, which I love. It's also a disease, but yeah, I knew shingles to be just the you know, the shingles you place on the roof. But yeah, so it's funny. So this one, if I'm not mistaken, the minimum price was 120. So someone has increased it over the minimum. I love the estimated, but the estimated is never accurate. I checked out some other. It's the website that does that. It's not the auction house, actually, I believe, but it's an automatic thing, and I saw it in other auctions, and it wasn't as accurate. So we have shingles, then we're going to have the boss. This one, if I'm not mistaken, did increase from the minimum bid. I love this one. This surprised me so much. I didn't know exactly what to expect as a final result, but I really love this. I love this section here. That red and orange just reads really well to me. And of course, the main figure. Yeah, so that one also, people seem to like it. I think they might have increased it twice. This is the only one right now that does not have a bid. And it may end up just not sold. That could happen, of course. The picture is, it was a bit of a nightmare to take the picture, so because it's huge, so I had to take many pictures, stitch them together. But yeah, hopefully. There's also framed pictures, but they're a bit in the sun, so I don't know how well. Actually, let me go back later. I'll show you some of the framed pictures as well. So yeah, this one still bidless, may not sell, but you know, for first time to have 6 out of 7, I was told it's great, and I think it's great. You see, you have paintings like this. I think this artist has 4 paintings in this auction. This one, if I'm not mistaken, started at 600, now is 950. That's a great piece of art. It was one that really popped for me. It's really realistic. Not all of his paintings are as realistic as this one. I mean, they're all mostly realistic, but this one has, I think, the more special quality. Yes, Maxi, I could never sell my art. I want to try, but I always get too attached. Let me tell you about it, because wait till we get to my final painting, because you'll see. So yeah, this one, oops, didn't plan for that. So this one, you see here, it's really nice. I think it's on just a wooden board, though I'm not sure. Yeah, it doesn't look like a canvas at all. Maybe it says it here, I don't remember. No, it just brings you to, oh yeah, all on wood framed. So yeah, this is one of the highlights of the auction, this guy, Erez. Erez is a kind of a tree, by the way. A lot of Hebrew names are based on trees. So here it is. Here's OCD, the front runner. So the minimum price was placed. I don't remember. It was 240 or something, like maybe less. I don't remember. But yeah, so now it's 360. And for that, they and myself, I foresee there will be a major increase, hopefully. But if you talk about attachment, so this one, you know, I consider this to still be one of my best paintings so far. And to put it in an auction house where I'm just getting started, and I don't know the price it'll get to, that's tough. And this was my painting that I was the most attached to. But you know what's funny? When I look at it now, it's still probably one of my best, top 5. But I can see so many things that I would do differently, and I think better next time, especially working on OCD1, the second version I'm working on right now. I can show you here. I think I've shown it multiple times. Let me actually show you. It's interesting. Just because it's interesting seeing the two together. So is the work in progress one, right? It's the same restaurant, but a different scene. So I took 2 main photos that I liked there. One is that setup that you see on the screen, and another is of just 2 people talking and then another person behind. So this one I was really attached to, but funny enough, now that I put it there, I'm okay with letting it go, you know? I'm actually fine with that. And yeah, and most of these, again, I wouldn't probably try and sell even, and even if I tried, I don't know if I'd succeed. So overall, I think this is a very successful first attempt. 6 out of 7, you know, that's to me, that's great. I am curious to see what will happen during the auction. It's going to start live, and, you know, it's going to go one item at a time. My first item is, if I recall, number 11. So it's going to take a couple of minutes, but it will eventually get to that. I am very curious to see what will happen. My name, Liron. Will you paint 2 same paintings and put up one of it for auction and the other for keeping it? Probably not. You know, to paint another OCD too, like the one I just showed you, it's rough. I mean, it's a long process, and if I'm gonna paint, it's probably not gonna be the exact same process. To me, that's a bit bothersome. Now, what I may end up doing is changing it up a bit, like I did with this one, the ongoing OCD, this one here, because it's based on. By the way, I have it here. Let me get it. Yeah, this one. So you see, what I may do is if I have this kind of a painting, and then I end up reinterpreting it as a larger scene. See what I mean? Let me actually switch views here. We'll go to this just so you can have a better view. Okay, so this painting, right? This is the first OCD painting I did. So this is OCD 1, and then I did OCD 2, very horizontal. This is the kind of thing I may end up doing. It's a reinterpretation in a different format, either more detailed or a different crop. Like something has to change. Plus, I think it's a little strange for someone to purchase a painting and then discover there's an identical or almost identical copy. So it's probably something I'd avoid just out of fairness, you know what I mean? I did paint quite a few paintings of the same scene in the past and sold them, but those were more when I was selling at the art fair and there were some popular subjects. Of course, every one of them was different just because of the nature of watercolor, but for the most part, yeah, for the most part, it was there were a lot of similarities, and they just kept selling. So I kept making them, not identical though. And that's different from an auction like that. Marjorie, love the kitchen paintings. Reminds me of my past and daughter now. Shouldn't have bought so much paint that I could have bought it. Oh well, I hope it sells well. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, you told me the story before. It's really cool that you have that background. Margaret, OCD 2 is the painting here that goes on auction. It's this one. So when we were there at this restaurant, it's quite a fancy restaurant. We go to this kind of a place once in forever, but I took a bunch of photos, and usually I'll try and take photos, zoomed out, zoomed in, all kinds of variety of photos, out of which 2 were really interesting. This was the first one that was really interesting, this kind of a scene, and then the one I just showed you that shows these 2 people. And I cut it out, but there was, of course, more to this side. And then I decided to do the expanded one with the full picture of this one, with that person also here in the background. So yeah, so it's 2 main scenes, and then every time I feel like re-exploring that kind of a scene, I revisited it, but I try and paint it a different way, So yeah. Hey, Sujanith, how are you doing? Hopefully I listened to your advice and started visiting the Discord more, as I definitely wasn't visiting enough there. Thank you for bringing it to my attention. So it's interesting to see where this one goes. These lamps are absolutely, I love them. Here it is framed. Again, not the perfect view. It's a bit yellowed because of the sun, but I think this one will do pretty well, hopefully. But we'll see, that's the whole idea with these kinds of auctions is because it's local, it's to develop some kind of base of people who purchase your art. I'm very well known for teaching and for the YouTube channel, but when you're creating a different product almost, and that relates to selling, when you're creating a different product, you're building a new audience. So one product is teaching. That could either be the free product of YouTube videos, or it could be the product of a course that you buy. But then when you create a new product, which is, hey, I'm not just teaching, I'm also selling my artwork, it's a different market. It's a different type of marketing. It's different clientele. It's, you know, and it really is about who you know. So the more people you know that are interested in this kind of work or that know people that are interested in that kind of work, the better. One of the ways to get the work out there is to, you know, start selling via auction houses like this one. The moment some people purchase your art and they love it, you know the next auction they're going to purchase probably more. Now, one more thing to add to that, the whole idea of the auction format, just like I did with my own auctions, is to let the clients set the price so that the next time my paintings will hopefully be on auction, the starting price is going to be different based on what was offered last time. And the hope is, of course, to have it increase with time. I have big ambitions for my art. And for watercolor in general. I don't know exactly, you know, how and when and what will happen to make it come to be. But I'm pretty sure it will happen. I'm pretty sure a lot of these things will happen. But it's very ambitious. Maybe I'll share, you know, in the future. Kiloa, color palette. So actually, quite simple. This one's mostly phthalo blue. You can tell probably these blues right here. That's a phthalo blue mixed with a bit of ultramarine. For the reds, like this, it's mostly quinacridone rose, specifically Daniel Smith's, because some are duller. But you could also use something like permanent red. Is that? Oh no, sorry, not permanent red. Windsor red. If you're buying Winsor Newton, Windsor red will give you pretty much the same vibrancy. It's a different color, a bit of a different one, but same vibrancy. And then as for the yellow, it was lemon yellow, if I'm not mistaken, some kind of a lemon yellow. Now, there is a bit more to it, because all of these colors you see here, this opaque paint, this is designer's gouache mixed with phthalo blue. But mostly it's designer's gouache with a bit of phthalo blue. These were all negatively painted, so that's just the under layer. These were with John Brilliant by Shinhan PWC. And everything is a mix of the three primary colors. So all of these grays and browns and purples and violets are all a mix of the same blue, same yellow, and same red. The only real exception is for blue, I used both phthalo blue and French ultramarine. I hope that makes sense. So Genève, Vietnam temples are beautiful too, but it's cool. Looking forward to that a lot. As you say, take mosquito repellent there. Asia mosquitoes are very rampant. Take repellent cream and electric repellent, as power cuts are common that side. Interesting. I haven't thought of taking an electric repellent, but we'll definitely be prepared on the, you know, cream and spray, because yeah, it's gonna be, or stick, right? Because yeah, I heard it's rough. So yeah. Marjorie, it is funny how a painting, and by the way, if anyone has more tips for Vietnam, I'm definitely happy to hear. It's funny how a painting can envelop you. With the restaurant, I feel as if I'm right back there 55 years ago. That's what art should do. Yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm. If that can bring something nostalgic or a feeling of you're stepping into the painting, that's something that brings me a lot of joy. Any new, or not new, strong emotion that it brings out is really cool. So yeah, very happy about that, Marjorie. So I'm gonna go back to the main page of the auction. I can actually just search for myself, as I have done, I believe. Oh, just in Hebrew. I need it in English. Yeah, that's not English. There we go. So if I do that, you'll see all of the paintings as of right now. And hopefully this one will sell as well, but you know, it can definitely not sell. That's fine. But yeah, so my item numbers 11, 12, you know, 27, 30, 44, 48, 61. So they obviously go in order. And I'm sure they know what they're doing. You know, the ordering is not random. Everything has a reason. And hopefully, let's see OCD, how close it is to the end of the auction. I just want to check. So that's going to be, no, it's quite a ways before. Did I miss it? No, okay, it's quite a ways before the end. So there's a lot after that. But yeah, so this is pretty much where I'm at right now with the auction. Hey Tofi, how are you doing? Hope everything is well with you. So yeah, so this is pretty much where I'm at with this sale. I will let you know. Yeah, it's my first time doing this kind of an auction. I sold a bit in the past through galleries, but this is all new territory for me. It's so funny because after all the expenses and so on, you won't necessarily make too much money at the beginning. Because of the framing costs and everything around it. But I think overall it's going to be quite a successful result. What else did I have on the agenda for today? I had a couple of things I wanted to mention. Yeah. Oh, one more thing. I am working on a large commission piece, one that I'm quite happy with. I hope to be able to share it with you. Marjorie, for your knee, I might take a brace for the knees. There are plenty of pharmacies, but the specialty item might be more difficult to find. You will be going up and down stairs. Oh, really? Lots of stairs? That's going to be a challenge, actually. I didn't know that. That's good to know. I imagine just walking a lot and thank you, Sujani. Just walking a lot and sitting whenever I can. Yeah, I'll definitely take a brace. I have a more not rigid, just softer brace that I can exercise with. So I'll probably take something like that for sure. I plan on packing. Hopefully I won't need it. My leg is getting stronger from every week is a big improvement, but you never know. Yeah, it's best to have it. Toffee, thanks. Doing well. Planning an art store walk after work for some gouache paper. Oh, cool. Hope you're doing well. Enjoy your vacation. Thank you. Yeah, I have no idea. What is gouache paper? Is what kind of paper is that? Is it similar to watercolor paper or is it smoother Bristol like? I'm actually not sure. I should know because I do want to do some gouache work in the future. Yep. So yeah, I'm working on a big commission. Hopefully I'll be able to show it to you once it's done. The client's happy. And I do want them to send me a picture of it on the wall. That would be perfect to have as well. It is a scene I painted before, but in very small and minimal format. So this is going to be a new and fun one. Now, I did mention before, and this is something that's becoming more prominent on my mind, is if you want to sell more expensive paintings, the kind of people that buy expensive paintings probably look for large pieces too. If it's purely for investment, an important historical piece, yes, smaller paintings will sell. But I think for specific clients, they're looking for large paintings, especially if it's going to be hung up on someone's place. Walls are big and they want the piece to show from afar. So I've been really planning on painting larger, generally speaking, and playing around with the technique to learn how it works on a larger scale. I did produce so far, I don't know, 6 maybe very big paintings. No, even less than that, probably 4 really big ones. And I really would like to improve that skill. I have the divination painting, a painting hung up in our living room from New York's Fifth Avenue. Was it? No, it's a different one. I have the Fifth Avenue one that's pretty huge. And so this commission actually came at a perfect timing because I did want to see how I can develop that size and, because all of the worries about, technique and the paint flowing and all of that, I'm really starting to throw these out the window because it's just a bit of a different kind of painting. And I noticed that even some unevenness and things like that, they barely have any influence. It actually looks really good still. So I'm quite pleased with that. It does take longer to do this kind of size. So that's definitely a thing to consider. But yeah, other than that, Margaret, for planning purposes on my part, when do you live stream? Oh, sorry, yeah, 9 a.m. Eastern time. That's usually when I stream. Sorry, I'm just gonna send a small text because someone called and I can't answer, obviously. Second. This is usually this is my usual time of streaming. Of course, for the next couple of weeks, it's not gonna happen probably. Just out of time, not even reception, connection, whatever. But yeah, 9 a.m. Eastern time Thursdays is my usual time. I've been playing around with doing more spontaneous live streams. I love the idea of it. I just never get to do it because I'm always preoccupied with tons of things I'm working on. So yeah, hopefully I'll be able to squeeze in a few of these more spontaneous ones too. But yeah, I hope that answers the question. Tofi, I usually use watercolor paper for gouache, but we also have special gouache paper. It's less rough and a bit thinner than watercolor paper. Interesting. But I personally prefer more texture. Gouache is too fun. Yeah, I could imagine how thinner and it still won't buckle, probably because you're using the paint thicker, right? It's more likely not to be as diluted. Interesting. Yeah, I could imagine because gouache has such a versatility in a way that the paper can also, many different types of paper could work. Probably. But yeah, until I try, that's when I'll figure it out. So Janith, this kitchen painting reminds Marcos Beccari painting, so glowing, but he always only showing time-lapse. Yeah, it's a similar scene to what he paints, which may be why it reminds you of his work. I don't see a lot. I'm sure there are plenty. I just don't get to see a lot of interior scenes that are a little more detailed and attempt a bit more realism. I love what Alvaro Castanet does, but that's a bit different. That's more interpretive and more loose. Some of them are very realistic from afar, but up close there are much less details. It's much less literal. But yeah, I can see why. Some of his time lapses are really beautiful, and that's one he shows. I actually filmed this process, not a lot of it, maybe around an hour of the OCD process, and I have shared it before in several videos if you want to check these out. I show one specific section I work on and how demanding it can be, funny enough. So yeah. Gouache paper, usually a hot press lower GSM. Interesting, okay, yeah. So it seems like to be the common thing. Sarah Burns and Lena Rivo are the best in gouache on YouTube. Interesting. Unfamiliar with these artists. Let me Google them for later. I'm definitely curious to see. Tofi, Lena, what's Janith said, and Lena Rivo is amazing with gouache. I love her colors so much. Cool. Let me actually look at some images. Lena Rivo things. Yeah, that's really cool. Sarah Burns paintings. I guess there's an actress, Sarah Burns, as well. Probably a different one. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Yeah. At first glance, I like Lena Rivo's a lot. Sarah's a bit of a different style than what I'm used to, but it still looks really, really good. That's cool. Yeah, learned something new. I'll probably watch a few videos because I enjoy the process of gouache, and the only person I watched ever was James Gurney's videos. So yeah. So Janith, even Cecil Yadro in gouache. Okay, another one. Cool. I'll take a look. I love this name, Cecil. I don't know why it always, or is it Cecile? It always makes me laugh. I like this name. Marjorie, when in New York did you get a good picture of the Flatiron Building? My favorite street scene in New York is the Triangle. Yeah, I love the Flatiron Building, and I don't know why I did not get a picture of it. I don't remember even walking next to it. We might have not even passed through there. I don't know. But it's funny. Riser, Thursday morning coffee with drawn greetings from a pandemic painter in Southern California. Cool. That's cool. What does a pandemic painter do, or what it's like? Let me know. I'm curious. Thank you for being here. Tofi, gouache is great because you can do different things with it, like flat illustrations or something with more layers and realism, or even watercolor imitations. Okay, come down. Yeah, no, I get it. I get the excitement. I know a lot of the old poster work that artists used to make, very realistic. Before photography and digital and all of that was popular, that was done, a lot of it in gouache. So yeah, I'm not surprised artists like James Gurney are very proficient at gouache in particular. that was very in demand in the past, I think. Very in commercial demand too, I guess. Martin, hey, how are you doing? Pixel Cathate. I love to watch your videos. Please suggest exercise to improve brushstrokes. Oh, I actually have a few. But one of the best ones is the older one where all you do is you attempt to fill in shapes while fully pressing on the brush. I actually have a specific video. I think it's not that well known. Liron brush tips. Let me see if I can find the exact video I refer to. It could be this one, I think. No, it's not. Or maybe it is. No, it's not. There was one video in particular where I show... Maybe it's the advanced brush technique. We'll see, even though it's not that advanced. There's an older video that's probably a lot of people watched, but I'm not referring to that, even though it's good still. Crazy watercolor brush exercise. It's good, but there is a better one out there, and we'll figure out whether it's this one. So I would say, first off, it's very personal, right? It depends on your brush. But but when you do this exercise, you will just become more familiar with your brush. It's this one. It will help you better familiarize yourself with your own brush, which is very useful. Dwayne, hey, how are you doing? How is it going on YouTube? Let me know. Tofi, James Gurney is amazing. I actually watched his video today. His Dinotopia work is stunning. Yeah, and I'm very impressed by his masterful touch. You know, videos like the one when he went to the car rental agency, or was it a garage, and someone was working on a car and he just paints them on the spot. His ability to capture something on the spot is really impressive. My plein air work does not compare to, my studio work. Now, it has been a while, so I'll probably surprise myself the next time I do plein air, but yeah, it's not the same. The plein air work is just not as good. It's better in some regards, like I can see the colors more clearly. Some aspects of it are better, I think, but for the most part, it's not as good. But his work is superb on location. I don't know how he does it, which is really, really cool. April, I'm curious if you do anything to finish your paintings, like a fixative spray or varnish, or a UV protectant, and how do you store your finished but unframed paintings? Yeah, I don't do anything really. Just once it's framed behind the glass, it's good. UV glass is from my conversations with people who frame paintings, like professional framers. I don't know what you'd call that, whether it's with wooden materials or aluminum. They all say UV is overrated. Even for watercolor, most paints are good. You're as good as any other medium, so it isn't really necessary. Now, if you want to take an extra step, a precaution, go ahead and use UV glass. They don't even have them in most places here because it's so expensive. It's just not worth it for most shops. So yeah, if you can get, I don't know if you can find pre-made frames that use UV glass. Maybe that would be a good idea. And then you paint to size, the size, and then you paint to that size. Other than that, not really. I don't do any fixative, anything like that as well, because it's behind glass, so it's safe. And to this day, I haven't found a good fixative. The one I found makes the paint look shiny in a weird way. You have a good solution for that. That could be an option. But you'll probably frame it regardless. So, I don't know. Maybe you could get rid of the glass if you do find a good varnish. As for storing, I just have piles of them. I have piles of them here. I have piles of them in the closet behind. I have piles of them everywhere. Stacks is pretty much how I store. It's okay, even dust, it gets cleaned off very easily. It's not a big deal, actually. That's how I do it. Very simple, straightforward. I do have some binders for specific types of work that I can put paintings in. And I also, paintings that I made for a specific course or specific product, I usually keep in one plastic bag together. Even, for example, when I did the article a couple of articles for the magazine Leisure Painter. I compiled everything. I put it in one plastic bag just so that I have it safe in one spot. So yeah. Marjorie, coming from an oil background, gouache would have been easier as you can go from dark to light, unlike watercolor. So I chose the most, I don't know what alien means, maybe it's a typo, but yeah, you probably chose gouache there. Sujani Liron, I'm currently reading one of your favorite books, Light and Shadow in Watercolor by William Lawrence. Each page is so interesting. Yeah, it's great. The paintings are great. I don't even remember the text content. I just remember the illustrations were really, really high level. It's so funny because Skip William is doing completely different. I don't think he passed away, right? But his later work was so different from what you see in the book. Toffee, I hope you enjoy your next plein air. I plan my first one on my vacation soon. Scary. Oh, cool. Where will you be if you don't mind sharing? Let me know. Riser. But oh yeah. Now, even before I read your comment, now I immediately recognized what you meant by pandemic painter. Pandemic painter in my case is someone in her 70s who's never picked up a brush, then while in quarantine watched YouTube tutorials and started painting. Yeah, I should have known. I should have guessed immediately. It's so funny. Jansard, hey, how are you doing? Good morning. Joining in late. Yeah, it seems like a lot of people have joined late today. And we're going to wrap it up in like 10 minutes. But yeah, thank you so much for being here. Judith, hello from London. Thank you for being here as well, Judith. So Judith, plein air, they say light changes at least every 7 minutes. Sometimes faster than that. That's a real challenge, I think. Yeah, you're right. Especially if you're trying to go for a more refined, slow look. What I will say is you can do what, oil painters of past have been doing, what oil painters of these days are doing. Just visit the same spot at the exact same time every day. You'll get a similar kind of light and shadow conditions. You can also take a photo if you are keen on finishing it in one go or maybe in the studio. I think the idea of going there every day at the same time is the perfect. And then you can spend like 15 minutes or 20 minutes and just be done. Come back the next day and continue like that. Could be very interesting. Now, you'd probably want to do that at the start of a season so that things don't change too drastically. But taking a photo is always a good idea. Yeah. It's interesting. Plein air it's an interesting process. I can see how once you're good at it, it can almost be easier than working from photos. It definitely brings out something different, for sure. The way you perceive the reference photo, meaning the view, is completely different. So yeah, for sure. Jansard, I use door lens cold wax when not using glass. Now, do you find that that kind of a thing fully safeguard the painting from water? Because that would be my question. Now, for larger paintings, you'd have to frame them anyway because the paper will buckle. Unless you're using very thick paper and carefully painting, it will buckle anyway, so you want something to flatten it. I don't see how it'll just go in a frame or even glued to something like a canvas. I don't see that working. You could even do like a canvas and just fold the edges over and staple them, but I'm not sure I trust that. Let me know if you find that it really protects it well. That could be a good solution. From what I've seen, I heard mixed results. I don't know though. So Janeth, can we just store in a box file? Yes, you can do that. Yeah, I do a mix of all. April, thank you. I'm new to watercolor and I wasn't sure if I could just stick them in a file box or if I needed to do something. Yeah, that makes sense. It's a good question. Yeah, I find not. You don't need anything special. Now, if you just want to make sure, just from dust and dirt, you can definitely put them in clear plastic bags individually or, from both sides. You really, really want to protect them. Yep, that could be a good solution. Now, if you really want to protect them from, God forbid, fire or anything like that, you would put them in something, fire resistant. But yeah, that's a completely different story. And something way above my pay grade. I have no idea how that's done. Toffee, I'm actually staying local. Oh, okay, cool. Staycation. I like staycations. Going to paint in my favorite park. We have a bird park with moors and ducks. Ooh, that's cool. And swans in a small river and lake. Very picturesque. I think that's the best because then it's a scene you're familiar with. You know, I loved. We did one staycation. It was so good. Yans are only for small pieces, like when cradle boarded. Yeah, I'm unfamiliar with that too. Storing paintings, I just archival, I guess, portfolios. Yep, yep, that makes sense. I have so many that I would just honestly, it's not gonna work for me. But yeah. What else is interesting? Let's see here. Yep. So let me know if you have any kind of final questions. We will wrap it up soon. I just have a lot of things to work on. It's been it's been such a tiring week. Every day I go to bed and usually I'm on my phone for a while, but in the last 3-4 nights I'm just 5 minutes and I'm done. I go to bed. I can't stay up. So yeah, Zeus, is Winsor & Newton Series 16 sable brushes really good? I got it as a gift, but it's kind of illegal to own any sable brush in here. Really? Is that a thing? Illegal to own a sable brush? I had no idea. Wow. I didn't know that was a thing. I don't usually use this particular line. I have other types of brushes, different materials, mixes, some synthetic, some natural hair, but not Kolinsky sable or really sable. So yeah, I would say there are better alternatives. I mean, if it's illegal, then be careful. Don't do anything illegal, I guess. April, I'm a fire protection engineer. Cool. I've seen cases of fire-resistant boxes that the box survived, but everything inside singed and it was ash. If you want to protect fire, don't have fire. Yeah, that makes sense. Because, I mean, if the box heats up, then what good does that do? I don't know. Yeah, staycation. Finally, time for hobbies and stuff. Yeah, Tofi, you know, we were in staycation when we lived in Tel Aviv. We just took a staycation in Tel Aviv. We went to a hotel. That's actually where I painted the scene I just showed you earlier of the rooftop and the pool. It was a hotel in Tel Aviv. We went there, and this hotel, you can bring a dog there, small dogs. So we were in a hotel with Ruth. It was such a fun experience. And when we went to the pool, she stayed next to us, and she hates water, so she barked at the water a bit until she realized the water is okay. And when we unpacked our suitcase, which is funny to bring a suitcase to a staycation for it was 2 nights, I think. She decided that's her new bed, so she just went to bed in the suitcase with all the clothes. So it was funny. So yeah, that was perfect. One of the best vacations. You know, you eat well, you save so much money in travels, you can just spend it on other stuff. Food for me most. Marjorie, thinking about your vehicle paintings and capturing the shine, I wondered if the Yin MN, I never know how to pronounce it, blue, would have been a paint that might even add to that shine. You know, that's a possibility. Shine is so, like, just getting a shiny feeling, unless it's a chrome surface like the kettle I painted, is such a tricky thing to achieve sometimes. That, yeah, I wonder. Maybe I'll give it a go at some point, and then I'll let you know. Janzard, I have hundreds, a lot of portfolios. Cool. Yeah, I couldn't have tons of these portfolios around. I just throw the paintings in, and I didn't throw out almost anything. If something is just, it's too abstract that I can't, look at it in a decade and say, oh, here's how I improved. It's just a completely different mess. Then I'll use it as test paper and then throw it out. But for the most part, anything I tried representing something with, I saved. So I have a lot of these. Let's see. Tofi, have a nice evening, Liron. I'm off to the art store for that sweet paper. Yeah, enjoy it and have fun. That's a great, great way to spend your time. Sujanith, Liron, enjoy your vacation. See you soon back with loads of gab about your adventures for sure. Yes, thank you, Tofi. Thank you, Catherine. Yeah, we looked deliberately for a place that allows for dogs, so it was great. Because flying with a dog is a mess. I don't know if I'd want to do that, but yeah. So yeah, thank you so much. I'm gonna go back to work. I've been falling asleep again immediately. 5 minutes in bed, I'm out. So yeah, I'll try and make the most out of what's left of today. It's now 5 p.m., so not much. But you take care. I will Again, try to have some videos prepared for when I'm not here. If I'm slow in emails, all of that stuff, my apologies in advance. I will try and do, customer support mostly. If you purchased something, you're having trouble accessing it, and I'm slow to answer, my apologies in advance. I will answer eventually. But yeah, I really do appreciate you being here and the kind words. We'll keep you updated on that auction. And yeah, this is it. Take care. Continue painting. And I will wrap this one up for now. If you have any questions I missed, feel free to leave a comment. I'll go over these. And, probably replying to comments is something I'll have some time in the evening. So yeah, thank you so much, my name. Thank you, Marjorie. Thank you, everyone, for being here. We'll talk to you again hopefully soon in a pre-recorded video, and in a live stream will take some time. But until then, take care. We'll see you around. Really appreciate it.